We're live.
Oh, we're live.
All right. Hello and welcome to Let's Chat. Let's Chat is a live podcast where I talk with creators about live streaming and the way that streamers and their community shape culture. Yesterday, today, and in the future. I'm Dan Clancy. I'm the CEO of Twitch, and I am currently in Austin, Texas, live in person with the one and only EsfandTV. Esfand, welcome.
Hello. Thanks for having me. No, I'm excited to get to chat. I always love getting to chat.
Yeah.
I'm a chatter.
All right. He's a chatter. I'm a chatter. And we got a nice setup here, nice space. We're trying this. We're one of the first times we're trying out doing this remote, and so far so good, and we'll see how it goes. All right, Esfand, let's start out, okay, with, I'm going to start out back when you started. Okay, Esfand, and talk to me just about, like, what was the first time when you started streaming?
So, from the very beginning.
Very beginning.
So, funny story about how I started streaming is that I didn't start streaming on Twitch. I started streaming in 2017. That's whenever I consider myself having like started streaming. I had a Twitch account, but like I was a computer science student and I just like heard about live streaming and I was like, I was into tech stuff. So I was going to try something new. So I had that from before, but I didn't watch anybody or like it's something that I did one Christmas break. So after that, I kind of put it down for 5 years. Wasn't really thinking about it, whatever. And I was in between jobs because I used to work in college football.
Right.
So I worked in like recruiting, video.
So you played football at SMU.
Yes.
Right. And then when you graduated, you were working in college football basically after you graduated.
So the specifics are kind of convoluted.
You don't have to go through all this.
So I won't go through all of them because that might take up the whole podcast.
Yeah.
But basically, I walked on the football team. I got injured. And then I didn't do anything for the next season. And new coaching staff comes in. Some people get retained on staff.
Oh.
And then, so I didn't do anything the next season. New coaching staff comes in. And some of the coaches that get retained, they call me up. Or one of them calls me up. Somebody on staff, actually, calls me up. And he's like, hey, we know you love football. We know you love SMU. We know you're super smart. And this new coach that came in, he wants to do some more like tech stuff than what they did in the past. Like the old coach was June Jones, who June Jones is a very like old school NFL pen and paper type of coach. New coach coming in was Chad Morris, who was like a new age, like, he was at Clemson and, high octane, all this stuff. So he wanted to do more tech stuff. So they said, hey, are you interested at all in coming on to help out? And then I did. Next thing you know, I was in charge of like digital recruiting. Like I was doing social media, graphics, everything. Right. So, and this is the short version, by the way. So I'll get through it. But yeah, so that's what I did. That's kind of how I learned all the stuff about streaming that I know is because I was doing all the video stuff, production stuff. I worked in the weight room at one point, all that. And I wanted to be a coach. I end up changing my major to sport management. And I'm like, I'm going to go the sports route with things like sports business, whatever. And I ended up getting a business degree. I'm supposed to have a job whenever I graduate. They were paying me as like a student through like, student, financial aid stuff, whatever. They're getting me paid like pretty good for a student, but I was doing like a 6-figure job. So I end up not having that position when I graduate because admin looks at it and they're like, what is this new position you guys are hiring for now? I was like, well, this is for Esfand. He's been doing this. And like, we got a student to do it before. Why can't you get another student?
Yeah.
So basically 2 weeks before graduation, they pull the rug out from underneath me. And I'm like, okay, that sucks.
All right.
And
now getting to the streaming.
Now
we're going to get there.
Now is when I get to the streaming stuff. So I'm like, okay, I need to make videos. And I started playing World of Warcraft private servers. So I knew a lot about Retribution Paladins and vanilla World of Warcraft.
I mean, who doesn't want to learn more about Retribution Paladins?
Absolutely. Okay. So this is like, I knew a lot about this one specific thing that mattered from like 2004 to 2006, 7. Actually, really, it was like 2008 is like my area of expertise, right? This 4-year period of time. And this is like my knowledge. It's kind of like law. It's like hieroglyphics. Okay,
That's why I was red asking this question.
Yeah. So I'm not going to go into that. But it's just like not a lot of people know this thing. And I end up going and making some videos just to stay in practice while I'm in between jobs. I'm like, I'm going to look for another job at another school or go coach high school, something like that. And I don't have enough hard drive space to record my raids. Raids are it's a 4-hour raid night.
Yep.
So I'm like, well, if I live stream on YouTube, it'll just save it there. So it's like I thought it was the craziest thing in the world. I was like, wait, I can like record straight to the internet. So
right, just using it to record.
Yeah, so I went live on YouTube, and that's kind of how I started streaming. And I would just stream my raids 2 nights a week. Instead of recording it for 4 hours, I'm just posting it.
All right.
And then that led to me getting banned. I got a three-month ban on YouTube.
All right, congrats.
Thanks.
Congrats.
Yeah, but that ban is kind of like how I got known, because it was like, oh, he's the vanilla WoW, Classic WoW private server guy.
Okay.
And then Classic WoW got announced, and then it kind of, I got.
Because your claim to fame streaming all came through WoW.
The very beginning.
All right.
Yeah.
And so now, because I'm like, for some folks are like, oh, please don't bore us with this, but I'm sure some folks have heard a ton of World of Warcraft.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But what is it that, like, for you, what is it that, why is it World of Warcraft was so, if you will, magical to you? And there's of course lots of magic in there.
Yeah. Oh, a lot of magic. Yeah, a lot of magic, a lot of weapons. So the thing with WoW to me, it was nowadays when you talk about like the attention economy, there's so many things that can pull you away from anything. You have social media, which wasn't really a thing back then. It was, but not like it is now. YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Discord communities to just talk to your friends online for the games, everything. WoW took all those things and it was a one-stop shop for everything. I remember logging in, and some people still do this. They log in and you'll sit in a capital city, and I'm just talking in what was called trade chat, which people would use at the time for general chatting. They wouldn't use it for trade and selling things. They would use it as a general chat.
Hangout. It was kind of like what Discord is today.
Like a Discord
channel to hang out with your friends.
Right. And people just be talking in text chat, and there was like memes on the server, and people got to know certain people. And like I was one of those people on Original. I was like pretty well known in the Burning Crusade expansion. But then I became that way in private servers too. Started streaming whatever. And that's actually how I came to Twitch, was off of a YouTube ban.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to be a good boy now, and I won't do private servers, and I'll wait until Classic.
Usually it's the opposite that happens.
Funny, right?
Gamers have to go.
Actually, it was, I think it was around the same, because it was 2017. It was the end of 2017, beginning of 2018.
Yeah.
So, and I started streaming in April of 2017 on YouTube, and then like January 2018 on Twitch.
Right. So so you started with WoW, but now let's chat about IRL streaming.
Yeah.
Something you love to do. And of course, it's changed, like tons of changes.
Yeah.
So talk about when you started to IRL stream, and like, what were you thinking when you first started?
So I consider myself like a second generation IRL streamer, because the first generation was Pokemon Go era, like 2016, 2017. And that was like,
wow, it's been that long since.
Kind of crazy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was kind of that era of that was like the first era with like Summit and those guys, Recful, all these guys doing IRL back then. I coming to Twitch and realizing I can't stream vanilla WoW private servers anymore because I got the 3-month from Blizzard, like Blizzard Action my YouTube account, which is funny because I work super close with them now. But I went from like being on that list to then being a good boy, but it was because I had to spend time not streaming vanilla WoW private servers.
Right.
So I had to find other things to do. That was whenever I started. This is like summer of 2018, I would say. And that's whenever I came down to Austin and visited, because I grew up in Dallas, and it just so happened to be that a lot of the WoW streamers, who were the biggest streamers on Twitch at the time, who were also heavily into the IRL scene, they all lived down here. And they got to know me because of the private server stuff. Like Esfand's the guy for Classic WoW.
Who were the ones that were into IRL streaming that were living down here then?
Like Soda.
Soda was into IRL streaming back then.
Yeah, he was. And
funny.
like,
I don't think of Soda and IRL streaming at all.
He's a recluse now.
Yeah.
But he did a lot of IRL, like with Recful. They had like a very famous like Japan trip from years ago, which like that was like super, super popular. I think that was like the first like very like big like travel stream was
Yeah.
like, at least that was like big travel stream was Reckful and Soda going to Japan. And then Nick was super into the tech
The
stuff.
Reckful lived here.
Yeah, Reckful lived
Okay.
here as well. And Nick was like Soda's roommate, and Nick didn't really like stream full time yet, and he just kind of like helped Soda with like everything, and so he would help Soda with all the tech stuff. And then I'm like thinking all the pieces. At the time, it was like, I mean, there was a long list of names here,
Right.
but basically, it got to the point where, and Asmund was WoW guy at the time. He was a retail WoW guy, I was a classic WoW guy, but that's how we got to know each other back then. He actually suggested to other people, he's like, hey, this Esfand guy's good. Like you guys should like, we're doing things. There was like a cooking stream that we did with train wrecks back then. And Asmund told Train, he was like, you should invite Esfand, he's really good. And so that was kind of like how I first met everybody.
Right.
Like I met Nick, I met Soda, I met all these guys. And I actually was Soda's guild leader, and on private servers, that's actually how I met Soda, but I didn't even know because I wasn't familiar. That's kind of like a funny aside. That might be a story for later, but yeah. So kind of like tying everything in, I kind of got into the IRL scene through that, and I'm like, I need to do stuff other than classic WoW because I can't do it.
Right.
And then I kind of became like in that second generation of IRL guys. And I was super into the tech too because that was my background.
Yep.
I was a computer science student, and then I was doing like production stuff at SMU. So that's why I was like one of the guys who really pushed tech and IRL in like 2018 and 2019, leading up to the Classic WoW launch in 2019.
Yep. All right. So, and I won't, preface this with my thoughts. Let's try to quickly go through some of the IRL things you've done that jump out at you as, kind of most interesting, innovative, distinctive, or whatever.
So, I mean, I think it really starts with like probably the camera equipment and stuff that I was using. Like now it's kind of like, if you look at a lot of the big IRL streams now, the setup that most people are using, like the camera and everything, it's the same one that I use. At least not the encoder. I use a different encoder because the encoder that I have was the first one that anybody had on Twitch. At least that's what LiveView said, because I use a LiveView LU800.
So the beauty of this, okay, is and one of my views with IRL streaming that I'll say is you always have to be careful of talking to an IRL streamer about anything tech, because it's going to be very intimidating. It's going to scare you away. I actually was asking the question in terms of fun things he's done in IRL streaming.
Well, that's the one thing my thing is the tech.
I know,
the tech is the one thing.
I was like, because I was thinking, oh, he did this, he did that, and then it was like, oh, let me tell you about the tech.
Yeah. Well, the tech, to me, the tech is some of the most fun parts.
Get to something fun you did IRL streaming.
So fun streams, man. Well, with that tech, I was able to stream at college football stadiums. So
that was the one I was thinking of.
So I started doing Esfand's tailgate tour is what I called it, and this was like 5 years ago. And at the time, there's no way that the like current IRL streaming equipment could handle being in like 100,000 capacity football stadium and being able to live stream. So I was going and I was doing these streams with my football background and like knowing college football and knowing the culture and the traditions of different schools and really showing off kind of like that sort of atmosphere to the Twitch audience. And, with that kind of stuff, I tied that into my Coach Esfand stuff, which is like adjacent to the role play stuff that I do. But that time on Twitch, a lot of people were like, I mean, I'll tell you, I had multiple big streamers tell me, they were like, why are you doing sports? Nobody cares about sports.
Right.
That's literally what they said. But my stream grew with sports. It even grew in the Madden section because what I was doing was so different than what a lot of people, not just were doing, but a lot of people could do at the time.
It's funny. I think this year, especially with all the attention, and all the other, creators from TikTok, Instagram, or other things that are started thinking about, I should do something on Twitch.
Yeah.
There's probably something interesting this year for tailgating, because it's one of these things that like and especially bringing folks that don't know the whole like football tradition in the South, getting them to go to, I'm sure, have you gotten a number of streamers to come with you that know nothing about that world?
My favorite guests.
Yeah.
My favorite guests are the ones who know nothing about football, because to them, it's so they have so many questions to ask.
Yeah.
And because we go around and it's not, this is the way that I approach the sports content. Don't do a stream about football. It's an IRL stream that's adjacent to football.
And also, it's about the people.
It's about the people.
I mean, when you go
So-
to, if anyone here like has not either seen the stream or been to tailgating, especially in the SEC,
Yeah.
okay, when you go to, I remember I was down visiting a friend in Georgia, and before the Georgia game, there's this whole RV park that's not next to the stadium where people buy little plots of land
Yeah.
for like $60,000, and they literally build full buildings with giant screen TVs and everything.
Yeah. I went to the Georgia-Tennessee game a few years ago. Went to the Georgia-Tennessee game with Grayson a few years ago. And Grayson's a guy who, actually Grayson he played football growing up until he was in elementary school whenever he quit.
Mm-hmm.
He has a story about one of his teammates, parents stabbed a coach or something. So his parents were like, you're probably not going to play football anymore. So we're like, okay, we're not going to do this. But Grayson is he's familiar enough with football, but we went and we had the craziest time because that's big SEC tailgating. Yeah. It was one of the biggest games of the year at the time. And yeah, just the atmosphere is insane. And every school has a different atmosphere. That's the thing that's really cool about it is it doesn't matter where you're going. Every school has its own sort of interesting atmosphere. So every single one of those streams was so interesting. And for me, I know how things work. I know there's a certain schedule and how, whatever. And I also know coaches and people that work on staff around the country. So I kind of utilize that to try and get access. So I've been on the field for kickoff, and that's usually
now,
what
do you spend much time going up and talking to the folks who've been tailgating for 30 or 40 years? Or are they what the heck are you doing?
I love it.
Yeah.
Those are some of the best people to talk to. Students are hit or miss.
Yeah.
Because some students are too cool for oh, I don't want to talk about anything. Or some students are am I going to get in trouble for drinking?
Right. But when you talk to these folks, that it's just part of their life.
It's so fun.
I
love talking to people from different parts of, just different parts of the world, but even different parts of the country, and just kind of hearing about how they go about their day and just do things. And
well, the beauty of it is, for those of y'all, of course, everyone watching this is probably, kind of knowledgeable and into Twitch. But anyone that, if you understand football and community, then you can understand Twitch. And if you understand Twitch, you can understand football and community. Yeah. Because both of them are really just excuses to connect with other people. Right? Yeah. In other words, you're looking for something to connect with other people.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And that's what it all comes down to.
Yeah.
It's a way that you can connect with other people. And then, for me as a content creator, I get to share that. And it's almost this is whenever I started IRL streaming, the way that I thought about it was, so there's two kind of key things. One was this is kind of like home movies that I can share with the whole world.
Yeah.
And, chat and people get to enjoy it. Because I remember back then, the first time I went out of the country going to Dream, it wasn't the first time I went out of the country, but it was one of the first big times that I streamed it. Went to Sweden for DreamHack 2019. And I remember being out there with Nim and Moral and Annie Fuchsia. I mean, a whole bunch of people, right? With I was with Chance for a bit. We did a hide and seek stream. It was me. I think who was there, but it was me, Chance. I think it was me, Chance, Annie, BJP, who's Soda's older brother, and Moral. I think it was 5 of us. We did a hide and seek stream in IKEA.
Right. Oh, that is a great idea.
Yeah, and.
Oh, hide and seek in IKEA.
It was great, actually. And it's funny because we were in a Swedish IKEA doing a hide and seek stream, and they loved it. All the employees were this is sick. They thought it was.
You know what you should try? Have you ever heard of the game Sneaky Sardines?
No.
It's hide and seek inverted.
Okay.
Okay. So what you do is you have one person that starts to hide. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then whenever someone finds them, they hide with them. And then another people hide and until there's one person left.
Oh,
okay. So you're kind of, one person's hiding, you eventually find them, and eventually they're all bundled up.
Yeah.
Okay. but it's a very cool inversion because you have all the people hanging out.
And it's funny because like they get easier to find as there's
Exactly,
people.
as it's more people.
Because they're not going to be quiet.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And they're hanging out. All right. So let's see. I will grab what we do is every now and then we go ahead and grab some questions from chat. So if the NFL gave you an opportunity to coach, would you do it? Obviously not as a head coach because then you make a lot of money. But suppose you had an opportunity in coaching now. Like, would you do it now?
Such a good question. So, I mean, okay. Are we assuming that I would be good?
You tell me.
Because
That's the bet. You would have to determine. Do you think honestly, you're a good streamer?
Uh-huh.
Do you
Almost.
given the opportunity? I didn't say great. I said good. No. No, given the opportunity, do you think you'd be a really good coach? Or sometimes you have these things you want to do, but you realize, I don't know if I would have been great at that.
So
my instinct is you're not a hard enough ass. You're not like.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. It's funny because you're kind of right. Where I will do this thing where I mean I can turn it on, but over the years I've definitely kind of just mellowed out. I don't, man, because I've noticed there's times where like if I'm like, let's say I'm working out with like streamers, like we did a workout stream with some like my house. I have a full house right now because part of it's because South by Southwest and people are coming to visit. So there's like 6 people, 7 people in my house right now, and they're like, let's do a workout stream at my home gym. So I'm like, okay, we can do a workout stream, and I hit a point where I'm like, if I see that somebody just like is not doing something that's like correct, I like correct them enough to where they won't get hurt, but I'm just kind of like, just let the kids play. You know, like I won't like get on to them about it.
I mean, I've thought because I played a lot of basketball and other stuff, and I'm very good at thinking about like everyone moving. And if I had kept playing football, I find all the plays and all that. But when I'm honest about it, I'm like, look, part of what a football coach has to do is maniacally get you to just focus on doing nothing.
Yeah.
But whatever you have to do.
Yeah.
Right. And part of me thinks it's like, no, that's like, I'm too interested in so many different things.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I'm a big X's and O's guy. Like that's the thing I'm good at is like, I'm good at X's and O's.
Right. But I think to be a great coach, that's just a tiny part of being it.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, I think I could do all of those things, but I am so out of it. Like it's been 10 years.
Sure.
And I wasn't coaching then.
Well, Sketch can help. Sketch can help you with that.
You can do something. So, well, like I'm so far out of it. I could never actually. I don't think I could ever actually do it well. Now, if I had the opportunity, hey, would you want to come and do some kind of thing where you're working on staff? I actually would 100% do it.
Yeah.
I've thought about it actually. I thought about doing it last year. Yeah. Even I was like, I bet if I went, because I know people places.
Sure.
I'm like, I bet if I went and I was like, don't even pay me and just have me work on staff with you guys, I bet they would, because they know that I'm good.
Right.
And also you can even leverage my streaming stuff.
Right.
Because that's good for them. So I know if I wanted to do that, but it wouldn't be as a coach.
You're saying that you think that if you agreed to work for free, you could get someone to hire you?
Believe it or not. Believe it or not.
You know.
Well, I've been trying to get Blizzard to do that for years. They will not listen.
Who'd have thought being able to do that? All right. So, all right, let's talk about founding OTK.
Okay.
So what caused you to do that?
It was kind of like a long-term sort of like streaming is streaming. And there's a lot that when you're a streamer, I think that
actually, you know what I realized? We just said OTK. You should explain what OTK is in case anyone listening does not know what One True King is.
So it started as like a content org.
Yeah.
And at the time, there wasn't really content orgs. There wasn't like a thing. Now, there were groups of people that were making content together, but not as like an official business. And we're like, let's start a content org. This is because a few of us were a part of orgs in the past. And it kind of started with like, it was me and Tips had talked about it maybe like a few months prior to the whole deal. We're like, hey, someday we should start an org together. maybe. And we're like, yeah, we should totally do that. Put it aside, don't even think about it. Eventually some stuff happens. A bunch of people end up leaving another org, and I was a part of that. And whenever that happened, it was just kind of like we were floating around for a few weeks. And I get a call from Asman, who's like, hey, I want to start an org. Would you be down? And I'm like, yes, but. And I kind of explained a few things, and one of those things was I have to have tips, because tips out is, and I
Right.
to this day I believe this. If I had to pick one streamer, and he's retired, but one person who's been a streamer, is a streamer, whatever, in the entire world that gets stuff done, no matter what, finds a way to get it done, it's Tips.
That's because Tips probably doesn't have ADHD.
Oh, I think. Well, here's the thing. I think he does have ADHD,
But he gets stuff done.
he gets it done because he's like me, where I think he gets like the ADHD hyperfocus.
Yeah, yeah.
Because this is what happens to me. It's kind of like it goes everywhere, and then if there's so much attention everywhere, then you like ult, and then you got hyperfocus into one thing. So
the difference is you'll hyperfocus for a little while, but reliably, like the one thing you know is at some point I can expect you to hyperfocus. And the one thing I know just is reliably, at some point I can expect you not to be hyperfocused.
yeah, and I'll be like, I'm gonna focus on this now, and then I'm gonna focus on that. So yeah, no, 100%.
You've actually gotten much better about responding to text. I'm very impressed.
Yeah, that's because somebody else does it for me now.
Someone might take you serious as a tag.
Yeah. Well, no, it's because I have so many phones now. So
I know he did bring his 3 phones here.
Yeah.
You know, he was like, Lord knows he can't get home without his 3 phones. All right, so let's get to IRL streaming today, and now let's talk for a second. And I know it was recent an accident. We don't have to talk about that, but talk about your car and decking out a car now.
I mean, it took me so much time. Time is the most valuable resource in the entire world. I feel like as time has gone on, as I've gotten older and older, I just have less of it because I have so many more responsibilities. I have so many other things that I'm thinking about. And I mean, I don't even have a wife and kids, and I'm like this, right? So if you are running a stream, you're running your own business. In my case, we have a stream, and then we have OTK, and then other than OTK, it's also
sponsorship. You got Starforge.
Started a games publishing company, Mad Mushroom.
Are you active? We're jumping around, but do you actively do stuff with Starforge?
Yes, but it's basically like you have Tips that does like 99% of everything, and then I do like 1% of that. You know, now I do more than a lot of other people that either are or have been involved with any of the other companies.
Like on the technical part of like figuring out what y'all want to do with the new PC and all, because you do have a technical background. Will you be involved in trying to do that, or are you really there's other like
with that stuff? We get the people that are 1,000 times smarter than me.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, that's like Nick Dankner and Ariel.
They may say, "Hey, this is our next one," and you may use it, or something like that.
Most of my responsibilities will have to do with marketing, or even like trying to like connect with maybe different brands or something. And then once like that's done, it's like it's done. They'll do all that. But like we have guys like when you have like Nick Dankner and that whole like everybody there, they're all so good at what they do.
So let's get back. So talk to me about Starlink in the car and what Starlink opens up for you.
Starlink in the car is nice because there's just dead zones while you're driving, because we use cellular service to stream, but there's some places that they're just dead zones. So having the Starlink in there,
explain simply what you do with Starlink, because I know how you like. If somebody's sitting here saying, "What Starlink car?"
Yeah.
What is the simple idea? How is it that you get Starlink working in the car?
So what do I do with it, or how do I get started?
No. Meaning, if someone wants to know, they know there's a Starlink Mini, but in terms of the sunroof and getting it so that you can be driving around with it without having to run wires through everything.
Yeah. So, I haven't mounted on the inside because I had a sunroof in my car that got totaled, which you can see the picture on my Twitter. Actually, it's crazy. I was parked and somebody full sent it. Yeah. Anyway, I had it mounted on the inside, and it was a Starlink Mini, and I just basically I ran all the wires, and the Starlink Mini you only need like USB power, but you have to have enough power.
Have you played around with any of the battery packs yet?
Uh,
There's a
Starlink?
Ravion battery pack that gives you 5 hours, and then another one, I forget the name right now, that gives you 12 hours.
I use a big DJI.
Right, but you could do it, meaning this just plugs into the Starlink, like the Ravion plugs into the
plugged into it?
Starlink, and so you wouldn't need any wires whatsoever.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Into the little triangle, you plug it in, and it's like the size of the triangle.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you could just stick it up there, but basically you use suction cups on the sunroof.
Do you still have access to the Ethernet?
If you need it, yes, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, because what I do is I'll use the Starlink as like a backup.
Yeah.
Or like an additional.
Right.
Because you can use it as like what you call a failover, meaning if you lose signal, then it goes over to a different thing, or you have it added in with the different SIM cards that you use, and it makes it to where like if I'm doing like a driving stream or anything, like I just did that I did a road trip to and from TwitchCon. This was a few months ago, and we were live like the entire time. I think there was a couple places we actually did have some trouble, and I don't remember what happened, but we had a couple places with some trouble on the way back. But overall, like we were good, like all the entire way there, and I mean it was just great.
Yeah, I do think like now it just opens up creatively to all sorts of other stuff you can think about doing, right? Because the biggest thing is power and internet, and now you can think about, well, actually I can go anywhere I want.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's super cool. The big thing is just being, if you can get the speeds that you need, that's why like I combine it with the iRoll backpack, because there's real, sometimes
when you're in the city, also when you're in the city, you don't want to be Starlink. You kind of
big buildings.
All right. So in terms of live stream, IRL streams, you kind of like are itching to do.
Well, off of Tailgate. I really want to do World Cup stuff so badly. I want to do World Cup. I wanted to do the Olympics last year. I almost went to the Olympics this year, but there's a lot going. Yeah. My like favorite version of WoW just got re-released, and I'm like, it's out for only a year, so I'm like, I need to send it. So I've been doing that.
So you're back playing WoW now?
Yeah. I mean, I'm still doing everything else, but like.
And how long will you be in your WoW modes? Because basically, you go through these WoW periods.
Yeah, I mean, really, for like 3 or 4 years, I haven't like full sent WoW. Huh. This is the only time I've full sent WoW.
Oh wait, I thought when Classic came out, was that
2019?
No. But the refresh, they did like there was like a year or so ago when they.
Oh yeah, I mean they'll do like releases of like different things. I'll go like try it out, but like, well, hold on. This is something else to consider. What I consider full send. So I haven't done what I consider full send in like 3 or 4 years. Okay. Maybe like 5 years.
Okay.
Because the last time I full sent was Burning Crusade for like 2 years.
Okay.
And then now they're doing Burning Crusade again.
Okay, so playing for like a month isn't full send.
Yeah. So like, I might stream it a lot for a month or 2 months or 3 months, but like I'm actually playing it all the way through. So I might stream it like a couple times a week. Right. But I do so much variety and shows and travel, and I host stuff. So there's just so much else going on that realistically, it's probably not going to be like more than a few nights a week, like throughout the year eventually. And it's already kind of getting there where like I've played Resident Evil 9 and I got to mix in some of the other variety games and stuff that. And I do like.
So someone from chat asked, is it too late to start playing WoW Classic?
It is not too late to start playing WoW Classic.
It's never too late to start playing WoW Classic.
Yeah, it is the best time to start is right now.
Well, tell me, suppose somebody is starting to play WoW now. Do most people just don't play WoW Classic, or?
So think of like WoW Classic. It releases kind of seasonally, right? And they'll do different expansions. So there's like vanilla, which is just the classic era or whatever, and that's like vanilla, and that's just vanilla forever. Right. Then they have Burning Crusade, which is the first expansion. In my opinion, that's the best version. That's my favorite version. Everybody has their own favorite. Then there's Wrath of the Lich King. So as far as like classic WoW goes, a lot of people consider the first 3 versions, vanilla, Burning Crusade, and Wrath of the Lich King, as like classic. Then there's the classic 2019 re-release that they're just kind of going through it for now. and they've got up to Mist of Pandaria, which is like a whole nother expansion. It's like 2 expansions ahead of what people consider classic for a lot of people. I would say Mist of Pandaria is kind of like the first. Mist of Pandaria is like classic for people that like the retail version of WoW.
So I've never played WoW.
Yeah.
We need to do a stream where you're showing me WoW.
Yeah, there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
I mean, the new retail expansion just came out too.
Yeah.
Actually, this is a big problem because they released them like within like a month-ish of each other, and everyone's like, "What are you guys doing?" Because some people play both, but they're very different
Now,
games.
do a lot of young folks get into WoW, or is it now like in other words, there are many when you go back in time, there are a lot of 19, 20, 21-year-olds playing WoW. Are there a lot of 19, 20, 21-year-olds playing WoW?
There actually are. A lot of the best, at least in 2019, a lot of the best players in my guild were the guys who were like college aged.
Right.
And it's funny because that's kind of what it was years ago.
Okay.
A lot of the best players were like in their early 20s.
Yeah.
So now there's some people that have been playing so many years that, they're in their 30s and 40s even, and they're pretty good still. But that's like what they play. Like for me, I'm really good at what I do in WoW. So like at one point, I don't know what the ratings are now. Actually, I had a bad session last night. We dropped a lot, but we won't talk about that. But I was like playing at the top of the bracket in every PvP bracket like last week, which is like pretty sick. So it's not the end of the season, and that's really what matters. But it's like cool because like you're playing and like practicing and doing stuff. And the next thing you're like, oh, like you're at least for NA, because there's NA and EU ladders. It's like, oh, I'm playing like at the top of NA. That's crazy.
So if you're 60 years old and you're playing WoW, live streaming, and doing IRL, you happy?
Man, that is a good question. I think that this might be the last time that I don't know if I'll play Burning Crusade like I'm playing it now ever again, because it was 5 years since the last time they released it, and I don't know how many years it's going to be since, next time. The thing that we're really looking forward to is something called Classic Plus, which is like taking the original game and like building on it in kind of like a different alternate timeline of what they did.
Right.
Because retail WoW, it's so different of a game than classic WoW. It's still good. It's just that it's not even the same MMO. Sometimes people, they have the same name, completely different games.
Completely different.
So, some people like both, some people like one, some people like the other, whatever.
Right.
But yeah, am I happy if that's what I'm doing? I genuinely don't know, because I think as far as WoW goes, I'll probably full send it for Classic Plus.
Could be.
Potentially.
Maybe that's by the way, it's a better question to say, could you be? Because obviously you don't know for sure, but it sounds like, no, you could be. Like.
Yeah, but like, there's also other things that I want.
Right.
And this is like a whole life discussion.
No, that's what I was asking about. If it's like, I love what I'm doing, but I know I need to, because some people you can see them doing the same thing. I mean, look, will be, he might be doing different games and different things, but Carnage, I can see him doing what he's doing 25 years from now.
Yeah. Do I think I'd be one of those guys? Yes.
Yeah.
I think that likely I will be one of those people that is like, because I call them boomer streamers. There's like a whole category of like the boomer streamers are like the Co's, Maximilian Dude, Moon, like those guys who are like they're old school gameplay guys. Like that's kind of like what I probably will be doing.
Right.
And I've always been one of the guys who does like the IRL and like the shows and stuff too. So I don't know if that's going to end up being the same thing, or if I'm going to end up picking a lane at a certain point and I'm just being old guy that talks about games.
Right.
However many years down the road.
Right.
Because I might be, but I also, you want to have like what really makes you happy. And it's like, yeah, you could play a lot of games and have a lot of fun with it. You could travel, you could have a house, you could have a lot of money, right? You could do all these things, but why?
Yeah, part of it. Why don't? And I think we're going to need to wrap up soon.
Oh yeah, I'll talk forever.
Let's talk about. But part of it is, I do think it comes down to the community. Because what's the longest you've taken off from streaming?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And that was because of an injury.
Okay. And what was it like? Was there this feeling, not just with the streaming, but in terms of your community, feeling like, where are they? What are they doing? Where have they been? You know, in other words, like it's just weird.
It is kind of weird. And I stream a lot.
Yeah.
I think like, I mean, Summit's a good example of somebody else that streams a lot,
Yep.
probably even more than I do. And I think I'm like in the top fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a percent of people as far as hours streamed in the last like 5 to, since I started.
Yeah.
But I think Summit streams even more than I do. And I think when those people are not live, like the streamers like that are not live, then it does feel weird as much for the streamer as it does for the audience.
Yeah.
It might even feel more weird for the streamer.
That's what I think. If like, I only stream, every now and then, and I'll go through these because I'm so busy with travel. But then when I don't, stream, I just feel like, and then I stream like, oh my gosh, why didn't I find time? And now I don't do it regularly, but
Yeah.
it's like if I go 2 weeks without streaming, I feel like, oh, that's weird. I should have been there. And I only stream like once a week.
Yeah.
Right. If you stream 6 days a week,
Yeah.
and you're used to having your family there,
Yeah.
right? And then suddenly, and then they're not there.
It's kind of how it is.
It's like, all right. So let's see. Last question in terms of chat. Okay. What do you like? What do you most either want to be or think if you think about your legacy on Twitch, what do you think you want to be most known for?
Wow. Wow. No, no, just kidding.
Wow, you said it. Why didn't you move on to the next question?
No,
Somebody's saying you're like, this is a long time from now, and I need to write, Esfand was.
Yeah, I think like the thing that matters to me, there's a lot of things that really matter to me. If I'm trying to summarize it, I would say I want to have a place on the internet where people can go. It's a community of people that are like normal-ish.
Mm-hmm.
It's people that like the world feels insane when you go online. The world doesn't really feel as insane when you go outside. But when you go online, the world seems crazy.
Wait. When you go online on social media,
But
not when you go online on Twitch.
Well, it can, depending on whose channel you're on.
No, when you're streaming. No, when you're streaming. Actually, this is the interesting thing. This is an interesting, it does feel crazy when you're going on and reading Twitter or whatever.
Right.
I find that when you're streaming on your channel, you never know who might come in.
Yeah.
But the world seems so much more natural. It
Yeah.
doesn't, like, 'cause the people that want to whatever, rabble rouse and talk about this, they're just not going to sit there and watch you.
Right.
They're not going to hang out with you. They don't want to, like.
Yeah. I don't deal with any, like, I have no nothing. I just, because I'm like, whatever. I'm too old for this.
Yeah.
I'm 25-ish. And
right, he's 25.
Ish.
Right. And I'm 35-ish.
Yeah,
35-ish.
I'm like, dude, I'm a grown man. I don't have time for this.
All right.
So yeah, no, I want to have that. I want to be able to like establish like a place on the internet where like, yeah, people can just feel like good about being here. It's a good community. But like, as far as what I do, like I love video games.
Yeah.
And I love being one of the guys who like pushes the tech and the IRL and hosting shows. And I just want everything that I touch and everything that I'm a part of, I want it to be better after I've been there than before I got there.
I think that's a great answer, although I'll add a piece. The other thing you can say is to be remembered as the no drama guy. Because there's so much drama, but the drama really, you're sort of the no drama guy.
Yeah, and I'm like, and I don't even go out of my way to do it necessarily. Yeah. I'm just like, because I keep it real and I'll just say like this or that. But then there's some things I'm like, why are we even talking about this? Like, I do not care about this.
You just stay out of it completely.
Yeah.
It's like, all right. So thank you for tuning into this podcast. We stream it on Twitch with a live audience. Join us on twitch.tv/Twitch for the next show, where you can participate in chat, follow at Twitch on socials for announcements for future guests. And don't forget to rate and review. Thank you, Esfand, for
Yeah.
being here.
Thank you for having me. It was
All
fun.
right. It's been a great chat.
Yeah, it's been super good. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, we'll see you in chat. All right. So now for
Now's the real
everybody in
stream.
chat. Now we can take our phones out, even though Esfand was taking his phone out.
I mean, I missed reading chat. I pull it up a couple times.
I know at one point. Well, at one point, I don't know you because you're pulling it in chat, and then I think you got a message or something because you were texting, and I was going to give you a hard time.
What I was trying to do was, I mean, so now we can talk about the real stuff. Okay, this mobile app. Okay. I'm trying to read chat. Half the screen is this.
Yeah, no. I shared that feeling about that. Yeah.
So I was sitting here trying to get the chat only, and yeah.
Yeah. It is tricky. That is one of the challenges always in terms of there's certain things that I want as a streamer that actually most viewers don't want, right? And the reality is a lot of streamers will use chat because like if I was on my channel, what app do you use on when you're streaming? Chatson?
Chatson on my phone, or I mean, there's a lot. Stream Buddy, Chatson.
I know. If I'm streaming, as opposed to if I'm live, I'm not using the Twitch because I don't want the and Chatson works fine,
Yeah, but so here's kind of how I feel. I have you have to be wise with your resources.
Yes.
And you have to be smart about like, hey, we need to allocate our efforts towards certain things. And if there's another solution for something, or there's a culture there that people are just going to figure it out, then they can figure it out. But at the same time, I feel like there's a lot of stuff with whether it's let's say we're talking about the mobile app. If you can like streamline it and make it something that people enjoy using for like everything, then they're not going to go find something else in the first place. Because I don't think that's how.
Although that's one of the tensions. So, in fact, we actually are. This is a great example. Where, by the way, I'm going to keep to bring it to you. Let's see. What is this thing on your stream called? The Order of the Oil. I'll ask that, and then I'll say what I'm saying.
It's a hype train thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can just ignore them. They're just dumb.
We are because there are a lot of people coming to Twitch now, especially from other platforms. And the team was always like, "Oh, we need to, make it easier to stream from the Twitch app." And I'm like, "Well, it's easy to do from, Pro." But actually, we've been. I don't know if you know this, but we've improved disconnect protection, where we've extended it and made it default, so that now you have disconnect protection if you're streaming from the Twitch mobile app.
On desktop too?
The focus has been the mobile app because most folks don't have disconnect problems on desktop. Do you?
I was having.
You can turn on it. The time will be the longer time. We're extending it.
So
I forget to what length.
My problem isn't even the disconnect protection. When you disconnect, so I had something wrong. I just replaced the entire network in my house.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's almost done. I had to order a couple more parts, some access point stuff. But I got rid of my old network equipment because like at random points throughout the day, it would drop for like 3 seconds, like hard drop for 3 seconds. And it was just enough time to where like half of the time I wouldn't even disconnect out of a game that I was playing. That's what the weirdest part was. I wouldn't even disconnect out of the game that I was playing, but it would disconnect me from OBS. So whenever this would happen, it goes to the not like this for some people, but for other people, it gives them the error 2000. Yeah. And apparently I'm not the only person that's experienced this with having like spotty, whatever, internet connection issues, whatever. But even with the not like this, you know how that happens? The whole point of the not like this was so that your viewership wouldn't tank if you disconnected for a second, right? But your viewership still tanks. And for the longest time, I thought it was because, people are just fickle and they just leave immediately.
Yeah.
Some people, that's probably true. But most people, I think it's not true. And I've asked around and people are like, no, like I had you open another tab and I'm working and I'm doing whatever. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, the stream's over. and I just wasn't paying attention for like I walked away and I came back and I was like, oh, the stream's over, and they don't refresh.
No, that absolutely happens if it drops.
Yeah.
No, it
So
absolutely happens.
well, like why does it not just automatically play whenever the stream goes live if you're on the offline page?
Um, there's actually a good technical reason why it doesn't just suddenly pop on.
Yeah, because
Right.
what ends up happening is like, well, that'll like nuke your stream for the entire day. Like the entire day is a wash. Because
Well, that's why I think it's actually now. You can like you can turn it on now, but I think on mobile it's automatic. Where now we've got up to 2.5 minutes or so.
well, my problem, I don't think it's the time. It is good, by the way, that you did that. Well, no, because mine I would disconnect for like, I'm not even joking whenever I say it. I might be exaggerating by saying it was 15 seconds long because it was less than that.
And it would drop the.
And yeah, and for the like, because then
have you had that recently? This is one of these things that's hard to debug.
Every day.
Shouldn't happen. So you're currently having it.
Well, not as of the last 2 or 3 days because I replaced all the network equipment. But I spent like almost $5,000 replacing network equipment in my house. It's like 4 something. So now the real issue is my network equipment.
Yeah, but it's like people sometimes
because you can't always account for disconnects and stuff like that. So, or like something happens and you have to restart your stream.
Yeah,
and I feel like when that live page, when you're on the offline page, it should immediately turn on the stream when we go live.
Yeah,
because that's really on. There's 2 issues. Like my personal issue is my network equipment.
there is
the Twitch side of the
reason why it also sometimes people. I will say sometimes you have tabs open. Like I a lot of times will have tabs open on numerous offline pages.
Oh yeah, because you kept it open, you started doing something else, and then
I have lots
and then
of
somebody
Twitch tabs open,
rated somebody.
Something happened, then I closed that, and like I paused it, and then they stopped.
And they rated somebody.
Right. And they rated in its pause.
Yeah.
And so I often have 4 or 5 tabs open that aren't playing. Right?
Yeah, me too.
And so they're effectively on an offline channel page, and we can't tell the difference between. So then all 5 of them would just start playing. Like a lot of times you like. So I think there are some good reasons why.
But I think that's a good thing. Like for it to turn on, because then it's open. Because I might not even know.
I hate it when, especially if that's sound up. I hate that.
Yeah, but you just know. Oh, I had this open. You close it.
Right. Yeah.
No,
because a lot of times you won't even know that, especially, if the sound's on, that, and you close it. But part of me, I just have a lot of tabs. And all right, enough with the tabs and all that. Let's see what, okay, we didn't get to this. I had on my question list, the draft show.
Oh,
yeah.
I do a show for the NFL draft. And the show for the NFL draft, it's for the first round. I'm working on some things to like finalize it. I'm still trying to get sponsors. Last year I had to pay for the whole thing out of pocket, which sucked. But I had to pay for the whole thing out of pocket, and we'll see what happens this year. But I really don't want to have to pay for that show out of pocket again because it was a lot of money. It was $60,000 in production and everything that goes into it. So
you're basically trying to get sponsors.
Yeah.
And if you can get sponsors, you're going to do it.
Yeah. So hopefully, maybe Red Bull comes through. It'd be nice if
Red Bull, if you're listening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Now you had sponsors in the past.
Yeah.
Right.
But
then that also was easier because OTK was pulling in a lot of stuff for you then.
No, it was none of it was from OTK. It was because I had nothing to do with it. It was just economy.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a couple things that happened. That was last year was right at the beginning of the tariff stuff. And everybody freaked out because we had like a couple things that almost came through. And then it was like at the finish line, 3 different things. The tariff stuff happened. They were like, we don't want to spend budget. Yeah. So that's what happened last year.
Yeah.
This year, I changed management and there's like a different process for things. And that's always hard.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I host this draft show with Will Neff.
Yeah.
And it's super good. I mean, we've had like former first round picks. We've had like legendary NFL coaches come on. Like it's super good. We have people in studio sometimes. So yeah, it's a super, super cool draft show. And it's only for the first round. So we only focus on the first round of the draft. And
when is the draft again?
This year it's April 23rd is it's usually the last Thursday of the month.
Right.
But
So
this
it's a
year,
little more than a month away.
yeah, this year it's there's the last day of the month is a Thursday. So I think they're doing it the week before. So I think it's on the 23rd this year. But yeah, so that'll be the draft show. And but yeah,
well, I know I forgot to ask you about the Sora AI for the podcast.
oh yeah, yeah, I
that
love
was a
the Sora
good
stuff.
topic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love the Sora stuff. I think the
Are
AI
you still
stuff,
doing it or not?
I haven't done as much lately, but I think I'm going to bring it back and kind of mix it in more
For
regularly.
those that don't know, tell them what you did with Sora AI.
So basically, the day that Sora 2 came out, Sora is ChatGPT's image generation like section, and they came out with Sora 2 to do video, and they're obviously really proud of it. They're like, this is super realistic or whatever, and it's like it's still AI, right? So it's gonna be scuffed. But on the day it came out, you could only get an invite only, and one of my viewers was like, "Hey, I have an invite code. You want one?" And I was like, "I'm so down." So I get in there, I upload my face to it, and you can create a character. So I don't know if I still am because I kind of take the foot off the gas.
Right.
But at one point, I was like one of the most used Sora AI characters on the entire platform. So like, there's
because you had your stream creating stuff, and then you'd watch it on stream.
and we ended up doing like a Sora. I did like a Sora like film festival, and this is the big thing with AI. Like, how I feel about AI. This is my kind of overall sort of thought about it, because some people get real like they get real opinionated about one side or another side of it. But the reality of it is, I think there's things that you can do with AI to like as tools to be able to like improve the efficiency of something, or kind of get through some busy work, sure, but it's not going to do the things that you need to have a person do, like creatively, or like build anything new, because it can just iterate on something that's already been there. Now, that's like the workflow side of it. I think on the like creation side of it, I think AI is like good for memes, and it's like funny. I think if you're doing like memes, they're funny, just stupid stuff like that. Like you prompt something and it comes out with a video. It's like it's a funny video, right? Cool. But that's pretty much like what it is. What I had my guys do was like, okay, chat, we're gonna do the Sora Esfand Film Festival. Make a short film of like a few minutes long.
Right.
You prompt all the scenes. It comes out with like a 10-second. It would pop out a 10-second video, and like it's like, okay, Esfand is dressed as like an Italian mobster in the 1930s, and so you'll have they would have to script the whole thing. They would have to storyboard the whole thing. They would get a 10-second video that pops up, and of that 10-second video, what they might do is, okay, I need like 4 seconds of this. So they would cut out the 4 seconds, and then they would go in and they would have to edit it and actually like produce the video themselves. So you still need the editing skills. You still need to like plan it. You still need to storyboard it. You have to know how to prompt. You have to do all these different things. And like people make really funny, creative videos.
Right.
Because I'd done green screen contests in the past, and I was like, oh, this is kind of like a new type of thing that we can do adjacent to that. I don't think they're the same, actually. I think they're very different, but they're both entertaining. And
well, I think
I want to do green
the
screen
way
too.
that I think they're similar in that the green screen made it lowered the bar for the skill you had to have to create something. There's this idea of your expertise in a craft, and right now, like to create a video, if you go back in time, it took a certain amount of skill in editing videos, right? And now that has gotten like freaking infinitely lower for someone to do something interesting.
So I think the skill to edit still needs to be adequate, but the level of adequacy is lower a little bit. But I think it's the thing that it affects more is the accessibility of, hey, I want to record a shot of Esfand. You don't have access to me, right?
No.
So let's take Esfand and let's have him like it's black and white, and he's gonna walk through a dark alleyway.
Right.
So you got to have a location. You have the cameras. Oh, the shots from up here. Now, does it look good? No, it doesn't look great, but it looks pretty good for what it is.
It's actually fine,
and it's fine, and in fact, it makes it better, which is why I'm saying it's good for me.
I think without a doubt, there are lots of challenges that AI presents. At the same time, it creates opportunities where you can use your audience to creatively express themselves.
Yeah.
And my thinking is, in general, with live streaming,
Mhm.
the reason gaming worked in live streaming is it gave a creator stimulus that they reacted to. And I remember I was talking to someone who was a pro NBA 2K player,
Okay.
and he live streams. He's a streamer, but he didn't stream NBA 2K. I said, well, why isn't NBA 2K and Madden as popular in live streaming as other things? I'm curious your answer, and then I'll tell you his answer.
I think because like depending on the type of game it is, like playing competitively can be boring. But also, like a lot of what the content that people do for at least Madden, what it was is like there was like a lot of ultimate teams. So these guys are like ripping packs and stuff and just like throwing a bunch of money at the screen. And I I think it's just
Actually,
lame.
what he said was, in the game, the degrees of freedom of the game are so much more limited than a really good AAA game. Meaning, when degrees of freedom, in other words, the of what can happen, because it's already this constrained environment, right? Of
Because it's a sport.
basketball, right? Because it's this very constrained environment. So if you think of the things that can happen, it actually gets a little boring. Whereas if you're playing a AAA game, whether it's Apex or whether it's Fortnite or whether it's WoW or whatever, there's so many degrees of freedom in the game
That's fair.
that it gives you a lot more dynamics that that creates an interesting stuff that you react to.
So here's what I think. I think he's kind of right. But I disagree overall. Because sometimes when you don't have a lot of options, that's when you can get the most options. So whenever I started streaming Madden and my stream started growing doing it, at that time everybody was just doing Ultimate Team, which is fine, but it's just a small audience. And it's people are ripping packs and they're okay playing competitive, this and that. I came in and I was like, I'm gonna play the seemingly neglected game mode of franchise mode. You're
Yeah.
gonna build a team, you're gonna build out a team and all that stuff. And it's something that the like EA had kind of ignored it for several years because they don't make money off of franchise mode. That's like 5 years ago. It's very different now because they realized, wait a second, franchise is popular. People love franchise mode. So I started doing franchise streams and I was like, yeah, it's constrained. You have a team, you have free agency, you have the draft, you play a game, you go to the next game, you go to the playoffs, you go to the Super Bowl. That is pretty much it. Like you can count on one hand what happens in the game.
Right.
However, for me, I was like, why don't I just be creative with it and use my own football experience or like even just like stories and memes in the news or whatever. And I'm going to create a character of Coach Esfand. And essentially, Coach Esfand is, I think a Coach Esfand is, he's got every single one of the worst qualities of every football coach ever. Like, we're talking like scandals, hey, we're never going to punt the football, like all that stuff, right? And that's like what I wanted this character to be is just a caricature of like this ridiculous football coach. And what that does is that allows the content to be really good. So then whenever people actually started watching and started trying it, they were like, oh, this is really funny.
What you're saying is you could make it. I think there's this. You can make it interesting, but you got to work and create like the character and all this stuff. And I do think, getting back to AI, I think AI can give you stimulus to then
A little bit.
be interesting. Because there's a lot of, that's what you did with your Sora AI thing.
I mean,
It created stimulus.
Yeah. And it
then,
gives me ideas.
Right. But you were reacting to it. Anyway, they're telling me we got to wrap up.
Do we really?
Yep. That's what the on slash Twitch. I know.
We could go. We out of streamer minutes?
We could go. Sorry. We can't afford this.
Somebody call Singular.
All right. So
Southwestern
we
Bell.
are going to be rating Kitspresso. So for all y'all watching, thanks for being here. It was Esfand and I. We hang out a lot. We enjoy each other. So this was great. Thank them for being here.
Yeah, super fun.
And we will. Anything in particular they need to know coming up for you?
Check your look. I'm a small mom and pop streamer.
Yeah.
So if you guys are new here and you guys don't know about me, you guys can come Watch my stream.
Follow
at Esfand TV.
Esfand and follow up
Yeah.
on socials. All right.
EsfandTV everywhere.
Thanks for being here, all. So y'all can go ahead and do the raid.
Bye, everybody.